Good evening, everybody. Welcome. This is Dr. Rao. We're starting our room on our series, a tip a day on wellness, day 14 today. Today, we're going to talk about feed the curiosity. See, we all have lives where we are very curious, and the people who are curious really live, right? And it need not be vicarious curiosity. It's like a curiosity about life, about things around us, about several pieces of knowledge, and so many ways we are curious. We want to wonder, we want to explore things so that we are really um, exerting our mind. And that is a very big wellness aid when you are really using your mind to learn new things. Actually, you form new connections, new dendrites, that is between the neuron to neuron, when they really exposed to completely new information. There's a spark that happens, right? And that's why people who are really studying a lot and very curious and inquisitive about things, they remain mentally very alert and healthy, and thereby their body is also healthy. That's generally the case. Okay. Here we're going to talk about curiosity as a whole, because people who are curious were known to discover a lot of things that were useful for everybody else. So you could do something like a diversify your sources. You could get subjects and so many things, right? Different ones. And you can also see uh, okay, learning goals. Each person can establish that. And then you can also have a routine of learning, right? Then you can join discussion groups, and you can really apply what you learn. And then you can also keep a learning journal. Okay, all these different things I thought of that you could do. Uh, but generally, look around and question why something is so. And out of that questioning, a lot of areas of your mind open up. So, a good thing is a thing of newness, one thing at a day. If you can establish yourself, like you want to learn these things, at least something new every day, that's a very healthy thing. It keeps your curiosity up, it keeps your mind alert and really healthy, like I described above. And there is something about ancient people, including Socrates. They said, "I all I know is I don't know." So ancient Indian wisdom also sprang out of not knowing, not assuming that I know and then I will blindly follow. Belief systems are not with the ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom about questioning and putting deep questions about life and then pursuing that too. So that is the basis by which really the whole knowledge has sprung. Okay, even Socrates said, "All I know is I don't know." So that's a very loaded uh, wisdom, right? He was talking about. So he never assumed that he knew. He came from that mind of not knowing. That's the fundamental in ancient Indian wisdom too. So they have a Sanskrit term for this, mumukshatva. That means you have to have this fundamental burning desire to know and to question life and everything around it. And out of that questioning, lot of observations came, and lot of observations were kind of reflected on, and then they came up with truths of universal nature, and those truths really helped them to measure or design, not measure, design a lifestyle that was very healthy, right? So learning is a big deal because most of the people don't realize, but if you want to be really healthy, you got to keep your mind healthy. If you want to keep your mind healthy, you got to allow it to question, allow it to probe, explore, and doubt, and really somebody tells you something, you kind of lay back and they say, why should I accept this as the truth? Why can't I really go back and then reflect on this, and thereby I can easily um, allow my mind and intelligence go towards so many untapped areas, and that's like an adventure. There's a whole lot of system where you go from the ignorance to knowledge. So that's one yoga. The whole yoga is termed gnana yoga. Gnana means knowledge. The yoga there is it's about knowing things, about understanding things, about discovering things. This is a high adventure. From the path is from the ignorance to knowledge. That's symbolized with the light, from darkness to light, right? Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya was the saying in the Sanskrit. That means from darkness to light. When you are ignorant of stuff, but when you know about it, it's like a, it is lighter, right? So there are so many ways they explained about being curious, being inquisitive, being questioning. That really helped them to further their understanding and then question from the deeper understanding. So it went on deeper and deeper and deeper. But every time you cannot say, I know. You want to say, I don't know. That's why I want to expose myself to the knowledge, right? So being curious, feeding the curiosity in us is a very natural, very important, and needed thing, right? So you can do it in so many ways. Like I said, you can have a learning journal, and you can apply what you learn, and you can have some discussion groups, and you incorporate learning into the routine, and also uh, regular learning goals will help you, and also diversifying your sources. Okay, you can have daily podcast listen, something that these days everybody is listening to that. Even I have podcast. I was not doing it, but this is like a podcast too. Weekly book reading. Weekly newsletters that I write. You can read that too if you want to, and then you can have a monthly documentary night and look at great people's lifestyles that you go to. And also you can have online course enthusiasm, and then go and find the courses and do them. I do them, a lot of online courses, so especially about the technology with AI. So there are so many areas we could be curious about, and we could choose what really appeals to us, and then go from there. Okay, so that's a very important aspect of our wellness, because if you want to keep your mind healthy, you want to keep it open and questioning and learning new things. Once you learn the new things, and new brains are formed, literally, and then say they were looking at the old people getting demented easily, especially those people who are engaged in the work of assembly lines in the car manufacturers. These assembly workers, after the retirement, they had a house, they had some things and all that, but they shut their mind down, and they retired completely from the life, and then just laying around like vegetables, right? Not engaging their mind, not having any meaningful work. Then, excuse me. Then what happened? These people went into early dementia. What says the Supreme Court justice, they are very old, even after 80-year old. They are every day, they are reading a lot of law books to be sharper than the lawyers that came in front of the Supreme Court to argue. So they were always asking questions, they were always reading something new material or not. That kept them very, very young in their mind and all. So you can see that with several people that are really alert and want to discuss. There is a ritual you will see among the Buddhist monks. They will be spending a good part of the day really posing questions, answering. They will be doing that like a ritual, right? But actually, they pose questions and they want to answers from deep within their intelligence, not from the books and all that. Okay, something new that they will ask. The other opposite person should ask something new. There is also a tradition I know, it's called satsang, that is in India. Sat means good people, sang means association, society, like, so they used to call this meeting, and everybody's sent invitation, no topic, and then nobody introduce themselves and then tells what they are doing in the society and all that. They don't, because they want to come there as human beings of intelligence and ask the questions from their intelligence and answer the questions also from their own intelligence, not quoting the book or not quoting any particular past knowledge. And that satsang, where their only aim is go and find the truth of any subject. Once they pose the question, for example, they say, what is a good education? Then what is the education means? How did the education word came? What is normally we consider education? What we are seeking for education? What should be the real education? All that. They invent all those things right there, and then cross-check it. If you say something just like that, there's no problem, but they go through it, and then they say, okay, we found something truthful that we can agree on. Mind you, they were not arguing. They were elevating each other by questioning and exploring and questioning deeper and deeper. So there was no intention of insulting, there was no intention of dominating, or there was no intention of showing people that we are better than you, we know better than you. That's not the idea. The idea is keep on exploring by reverberating with question and answer like that, right? And that's a very good example for the social media now, because in the social media, people come with a egotistical mind, they come to conclusions, and they want to prove that to satisfy their own ego and to all to one man upmanship, right? But if you are really after the truth, you don't mind exploring it. You don't mind really showing people that this is a friendly affair, but a competitive affair. Then we both can explore it without saying this is what I am saying. That's why my ego wants it to establish this is right. That's not it. There should be a friendly nature. There should be a intention to probe into the truth. So what's happening in Clubhouse and other places, I have seen not only Clubhouse, other people also, they want to come and argue their point of view, and then they want everybody else to accept it without question. So just because they have a loud mouth, they have some articulation of the language, and they don't have a accent or something, they think they are presenting better truths, better saying things about the truth. It is not the case. That's a prejudicial way to look at somebody with an accent and all that. Everybody will have accent. Suppose you are asked to speak my native languages, you will be gone. You will not have the proper language because you are spelling, you are doing everything, you will be horribly accented, right? So that's natural. But what we have to focus on is what is the subject, what are we focusing on, what are the things that are going to be really useful for both of us. And we are not competing with each other, but we are together in the exploration of truth, going with a lot of questions deep into the subject, right? That was a good tradition. I still maintain that, I am not interested to tell people that they are wrong, I am right. I am not at all interested in that. I am only there. I will speak my truth, and somebody else speak their truth. That's fine. We can accept that. No problem. But as friends, we both are exploring truth of the matter, right? Suppose I say wellness is this, then my definition may be body, mind, spirit, everything holistic. But somebody may say, if I don't have any disease, I'm healthy. So it differs. But then, as you see the people with so many things coming in, then you want them to be holistically healthy, not only one particular thing, and then go and suffer with mental illness and all that, right? So it's a question of perspective. It's a question of looking at things in a different way. That's okay. We are agreeing to disagree. That I loved about America when I first came in, is this culture of agreeing to disagree. That's wonderful. And the McNeil News Hour, that's the one I watch even still. They are like that. They bring major people to present current affairs, but then they keep quiet till the other person completely talks, and then also he doesn't take him on. He takes on you know the matter and what is what. Then he will present his truth. So if you gather together to explore truth, to go into deeper investigation of the truth, you are okay. You are all friends going together. So in that way, there's no real competitors, but more like a good sports. That's a very, very important thing. But the fundamental thing in satsang is, when people gather together, is to find out, is to understand life. Apart from physical things and all that, they wanted to understand what is thought, what is feeling, what is meditation, why you have to keep quiet, all those things, fundamental universal truths that you want to go and explore. And in exploring that, you will discover new truths. That's what really happens. Okay. So be curious, question every day, learn something new, and learn what it is to be that spiritual inquiry, which I call mumukshatvam. That was a quality that was encouraged in the olden days, that was given a lot of life, letting people understand life, understand the world, understand what's happening with life around you, all that. So that kind of thing, where did we come from? Where are we going? What is death? What is after death? What is there? Those kind of fundamental universal questions were always pursued by people. The higher you go into philosophical or religious or spiritual people, they will have all these questions. So when they gather together in the evening, they may be exploring those questions during the exploration of a talk, right? This is very common. Okay, so but lately, medicine also is exploring into, uh, uh, I think around 2000 or 1998, something like that. Martin Seligman, he is the one who talked about positive psychology, and his aim was, science has to deliver what is the knowledge that is about meaning and purpose in life, right? So they started to ask those questions. They went deep into that, and then they were able to really find answers. He came up with a system called PERMA, PERMA. P stands for pleasure. You do things for pleasure, but then just mere pleasure may not be meaningful for you. Then E stands for engagement. Suppose you are just watching the game versus you go and participate and engage yourself, you have more pleasure there, right? And then R is a relationship. Suppose you have a relationship with the people you are playing with, then you enjoy it much more. So among the family, among the society, among the country, like that, right? Uh, and M is for meaning. Suppose you are playing that game, some game that you played for some charity purpose and for of your choice, and you want to donate money for them, that will be much much more meaningful for you, right? And then achievement. Suppose you are supposed to make something out of that activity, and really you have a goal that you want to achieve that. Like for example, you want to run so much of distance, or you want to exert yourself for so much time before you go and really retire. All those things are achievement are there. So the joy or pleasure that you get from those activities go up from pleasure to engagement to relationship to meaningfulness to achievement, right? This was Martin Seligman explored that. Actually, he borrowed it from ancient wisdom called dharmartha kama moksha. That means artha means making money, kama means fulfilling desires. You can do these things, but do that in a dharma way, that is a righteous way. Don't do hanky panky, don't do really um, uh, uh, cheating people, but then do it in an honest way, right? And then beyond just living and making the money and enjoying ourselves, beyond the pleasures that we have in this world, there is more meaning for a human life where you can really gain freedom from your own mind. That they call moksha. So there is a deeper activity in ancient world. It's not just about earning money or having some simple pleasures or joys, but it is about really studying that nirvana or liberation, freedom from your own mind. So that's valued very highly. All this came up because somehow the human beings asked these intense, curious things. They were curious about. We couldn't find the Earth is round unless somebody was curious about it. We can't find the gravity unless somebody is curious about it. So feeding our curiosity, you don't know where it is going to go. But meanwhile, as you are curious, as you are engaging, as you are really exploring it, life becomes much, much, much better. And from the ignorance, you go to the light of the knowledge. And also, your physical brain itself, when you discover something new, it forms more neuronal connections. Like I told yesterday, if you are exposing your mind to something completely new, at that time, the spark happens between the two dendrites, and then there is a new bone formation, new brain formation happens, right? That's the fundamental thing about. So if you are not a placid person, somebody who don't know anything about anything, to somebody who is always asking question, always being a student, always learning, that's a good way. I vouch for it. I am always asking questions, always learning something, and come from the perspective of beginner's mind, where I say, I don't know, let me find out. Okay, that helps a lot for me to explore so many new things that I'm doing in my life. Like artificial intelligence, when it came in, I'm not a mathematician, even though I was a mathematician way back in my early life. But I became a medical person and I was doing medicine all the time, biological sciences, right? But now I did a master's in biomedical informatics at the age of 60. And I had to learn a lot of new things, and then I was happy to participate, So it all depends upon how you keep our mind. So feed your curiosity, learn something new every day, and ask questions. Not in a way to challenge anybody, but just keep our curiosity up. Okay. So I'm happy to be like that. And if you are like that, come and talk to me about it and tell me how it feels for you. same as me. So that's it for today. And anybody wants to come and say something, you can come up, and I will be happy to engage you. I followed everybody who is on my list here today that are not following, so. So anybody curious about anything, come and ask me that question. I'll be happy to engage. Even if I don't know those things, I will try to go and study about that. So, but this inquiry within ourselves, the self-inquiry, that's a very fascinating thing. It's not about things outside, but it's of things about ourselves. How do you go about it? If you have already a preconceived notion, you will not know who you are. But if you really say, let me find out what kind of thoughts I'm getting, what kind of feelings I'm getting, what is my perspective, all that, what you have to do is you have to turn the mind inward. There is a yoga called Raja Yoga. So Raja means king, yoga means yoga, right? King of yogas, right? That is about this knowledge. How do you get the knowledge of your own mind is by turning your own mind onto itself and studying its operations and knowing about it. It will tell you. It's like a mirror. You got to watch it. It's a deep science where it starts with being moral and ethical, taking care of the body and the energy body, breathing, right? And then withdrawing the senses and focusing your thoughts and going into one thought and staying in that one thought, and then going beyond that thought into the silence. Once you are in the silence, your real nature shows up. Okay, but for that you got to make your mind quiet. To know all this, you can start with the inquiry, and then you can say, how can I do that? Where can I do that? What are the benefits if I do that? How do I know I'm doing that? All those questions, right? You can question that. You can ask me those questions. Maybe if you know already, you can come and tell me about it. So there are so many ways. I don't know why everybody is passive in my room. I'm inviting people to come and talk, but you are all very, uh, silent lots of time. It's a good thing to have a silent, but when you are coming into the room, I come to people's room and talk to people. So I don't know what's the problem here. Uh, anyway, uh, be curious, ask questions every day, at least to yourself, and then that will be good. Okay. I don't know, is this a kind of a strange behavior? I'm not having anybody come and ask me questions, but I come and ask questions. Don't worry. Okay. Thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye bye.